Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's episode might get me in hot water. We will see. But we are talking about why men don't want to date feminists. Now, we are talking about the extreme feminists. We're not talking about the healthy dose where, we want to have equal opportunity for women and men. We're talking about this idea out there that women don't need men, that women can do the same things as men, which we know logically is not the truth. The two genders have built-in differences that are okay. And I'm just going to share a small personal experience that I had just recently that I was thinking about when making this video. And that is my 6-year-old son saying out loud in public the other day that boys are stronger than girls. He was saying this with a sort of pride that a 6-year-old will have, where he's showing his muscles and he's saying that he's strong. And he loves to hear that from me or any of the men in his life to tell him that he is strong. It really builds him up. There's just something about that, I think, with a little boy. So I felt like eyes were on me when he said this out loud because multiple ears heard it. And, I had to make a judgment call as to, okay, are we being politically correct here? And am I saying like, well, no, girls can be just as strong as boys too? Or am I telling him the truth that most boys are physically stronger than most girls? Like, that's just facts. And I went with the facts and I agreed with him. I didn't want to confuse him. So I want to get into the 4 main reasons why that men don't want to date this type of feminist. Number 1, these feminists are all for double standards, and that drives men crazy. It is a movement that claims to promote equality between men and women, but instead it really cherry picks all of the positive aspects to life in which men have without the negatives. So, for example, in the workforce, right? Like they want equal pay. These women want equal pay, but not equal time at work. Nor do they want the jobs with terrible work schedules. Flexibility is more important for them. These women want more equal opportunity for prestigious jobs, but not for the dirty or dangerous jobs. And then for dating, I think men experience this all the time nowadays where women want a man to still pay for dates. They want them to plan dates. They want to have the men put in all of the initial effort, but women aren't going to do the same. So it's not truly equal when it comes to that initial dating stage. Number 2 reason why men don't want to date these types of feminists is that he doesn't want to feel worthless because of his gender. Who wants to be with a woman who puts down his gender? It doesn't feel good. It doesn't make sense. Honestly, it blows my mind when I see these female creators online and they are blasting men constantly. And then you find out that that woman actually has a boyfriend. And I just wonder what that dynamic is like. Because in my own personal experience with supporting a man's life experience, it's that my own man will tell me, day to day, oh, I love that TikTok that you did today. That's so true. And we'll end up having a discussion about it. Or maybe if he doesn't agree completely. Or there's a lot of times where he'll tell me things that, men could do in order to avoid that situation that I'm talking about, or, empower themselves to prevent that situation from occurring. So it goes into a deeper conversation. But compared to what I imagine a conversation is like for an extreme feminist that's putting out content that just hates on men, like her man must constantly agree and claim he's not like those other guys, like he's some unicorn. It's almost like a pick-me boy, right? What do you guys think? Number 3 reason why men don't want to date feminists is that he wants to be masculine. He would rather work more than to take on childcare. And you can't tell me that anything is necessarily wrong with that, I think that women think that men should want to do these two things equally, but it's really honestly none of your business if he already knows that about himself, that he wants to work rather than provide, especially like the early years childcare, like the baby stage, the toddler stage. If he's aware of that and he's able to communicate that and he finds a woman that matches him, then why are you getting upset about it? Like, those two people are grown adults that are making that decision and they're happy and it probably works really well. The other reason is that, the man likes to do things for his woman that she doesn't know how to do on her own because it helps make him feel like a valuable person. It's almost like fitting into a niche or a niche, however you prefer to say it. That's what we are all seeking, especially when we are young and we're growing up, is like we need to have our very like individualized strengths. And that makes us feel valued and it helps build up our confidence. So that's a huge reason why he wants to be in his masculine. And then lastly, number 4, he wants a partner, not a competitor. He doesn't believe in the 50-50 split of everything because it really should be 100 and 100. The whole 50-50 is like an impossible ideal. Keeping tally is more likely to result in resentments. So if you're trying to split everything completely even, you're probably more likely that you are keeping tally, and you're going to be building resentments if you don't feel like it is completely 50-50 and that's the deal, right? Like that's what you decided on and now it's not happening. And so then, if you don't communicate that and you go into like that silent resentment, that's just the beginning of the end of that relationship. And then the other part of this is, are you guys really like paying half of everything? Like, are you keeping like your separate bank accounts? And are you, one person might be making more money than the other. I mean, that's going to happen to some degree. You're not going to be perfectly even. And so where is the fairness in that? What if one person would rather work a little less and would rather provide support in some other way in the household? And honestly, that just takes away from that feeling that you're with a partner, because a partner should be able to lift you up. They should be able to give you that extra percentage of effort when you're lacking. It should be a little bit of back and forth tugging, where when somebody's having a bad day, the other one can help out more and vice versa. But what that takes is it takes this caring nature for each other. It takes not keeping tally. It takes not keeping everything so isolated. This is yours, this is mine. And you really have to work on combining things. And what men see is that feminists they tend to be more aggressive and angry and not as soft and nurturing. I see this where women will actually get mad at her man for resting because he's sick. And what he would rather want is for her to just care for him, to let him rest. Because at that point, like, he's not at his 100% ability. And you should be able to step up and actually do more for him and be okay with that and not be holding these resentments. And then lastly, what I'll say is that a man wants to feel like he's at peace with the woman that he is with, right? And he will feel at peace with a partner. He's not going to feel at peace with a competitor because it's just going to be a never-ending back and forth. And for a man to feel like somebody has his back, when he's trying to push himself forward in life, it's just everything for him. So I'll be interested to know what you guys think, if there's points that I missed as to why you yourself would not be willing to date a feminist, or reasons for why you would date a feminist. Please let me know in the comments, and we'll see you next week.